In the 17th century, there was a strict, unwritten formula for winning a war. Two massive armies would line up on a flat, open plain, and victory almost always went to whoever brought the most men, the heaviest artillery, and the largest war elephants. The Mughal Empire used this brute force methodology to steamroll across northern India. They built enormous, heavily armed forces that could simply crush any resistance under their sheer weight, securing vast wealth and absolute dominance over the region. So, when a rebellion sparked in the southern Deccan Plateau, the Mughals marched their massive army south. They fully expected to draw the heavily outnumbered Maratha forces into an open field and trample them in a matter of hours. The founders of the Maratha Swarajya, their movement for self-rule, knew exactly what they were up against. They realized that stepping onto a traditional battlefield against hundreds of thousands of Mughal troops meant immediate, absolute annihilation. Swarajya required a total departure from traditional engagement. The Marathas adopted Ganimi Kava, a system prioritizing tactical deception over direct confrontation. The foundation of Ganimi Kava was the Sahyadri mountain range. This is a vertical, hostile environment of jagged rock and deep ravines, completely incompatible with the flat plain tactics the Mughals relied on. When the Mughal army traveled, it operated like a moving city. They dragged luxury tents, thick armor, and heavy artillery pieces up these steep inclines, reducing their daily progress to a miserable crawl. The Maratha infantry, known as Mavallas, went the opposite route. They discarded heavy metal armor for simple cotton clothes and light swords, allowing them to sprint silently across the rocky terrain. They applied the same logic to their cavalry. While the Mughals rode large, heavy horses that struggled on uneven ground, the Marathas bred agile, beam-thadi horses that could scale the rocky, treacherous paths like mountain goats. By refusing to fight on the plains and pulling the Mughals into the mountains, the Marathas turned the invaders' greatest asset, their sheer size, into an anchor that trapped them in the hills. Keeping a massive army fed was a logistical nightmare. The Mughals' continuous, massive supply trains moved tons of grain through narrow mountain passes. Instead of attacking heavily guarded camps, Marathas launched lightning-fast ambushes exactly there, stealing supplies and vanishing. The physiological toll was devastating. Cut off from their resources, tens of thousands of Mughal soldiers succumbed to thirst and starvation in their own tents, neutralizing half the army before a major battle ever took place. The Marathas also weaponized the brutal local monsoons. When heavy rains turned the valleys into thick mud, Mughal gunpowder was ruined and their cavalry was grounded. For the Marathas, the stormy pitch-black nights became the perfect cover for raids. This doctrine weaponized the Sahyadri's jagged cliffs and monsoon floods, converting the terrain into a lethal participant in the war. When the Marathas did show themselves on the field, it was often a trap. They would engage the Mughal cavalry, pretend to panic and run, baiting the overconfident riders into narrow, inescapable gorges. Once wedged inside, Maratha soldiers hiding above would send massive boulders crashing down. This strategy required a completely different kind of leadership. The Mughal military was a rigid pyramid. If the top general fell, the army fled. The Marathas operated as a decentralized web. Guided by local spies, these units coordinated strikes from multiple directions, creating the terrifying illusion of being attacked from everywhere at once. The Marathas even bypassed the frontline troops entirely to raid deep into Mughal territory. They targeted wealthy trading hubs, looted the treasuries, and literally used Mughal gold to fund their own expanding military operations. Between the relentless, invisible ambushes and the collapse of their supply chain, the Mughal soldiers broke. The sheer paranoia of waiting for the next strike drove thousands to madness or mass desertion. Emperor Aurangzeb dedicated the last 25 years of his life and nearly his entire royal treasury to campaigns in the Deccan. But he poured those resources into fighting a ghost he could neither catch nor kill. By the time Aurangzeb died, the Mughal Empire was exhausted, financially hollowed out and militarily broken by decades of futile warfare. The empire began a rapid, irreversible collapse. In its place, the Maratha Swarajya grew from a local rebellion into a vast, continent-spanning empire, secured by these high-altitude stone strongholds. Ganimi Kava demonstrated that intellectual agility and decentralized systems can overcome sheer numbers, a strategic principle still studied in military academies today.